What's going on, gamers? It is your boy Dusty Y here, back with a guide video. That's kind of new, but we've been checking out this Diablo 4 beta super heavy. You guys know me, I love these Diablo games. I think I genuinely hit the single best rogue class that I have seen anywhere in this first beta, and I'm gonna give you guys the insider info on how to make it happen. First thing that we're going to check out are the skills that make this build successful. A lot of what this is going to revolve around is some quick in and out movements, building up a few charges, and really maximizing the pop from that penetrating shot that we're going to be utilizing. So to start it out, we're going to want to go with the puncture as our primary generator. With puncture, we're getting 2 energy whenever we hit something that's crowd controlled, and then we're also getting the vulnerability when something's hit by 2 blades. Pen shot, this is going to be our classic. Pen shot is going to be our dump. We're basically going to get all of our charges up, support pen shot as much as we can. We're going to try to line up some big shots, and then we're going to take advantage of pen shot. It deals 20% increased damage per enemy that it pierces, and then if it damages at least 3 enemies, it has a 20% increased crit chance. Big all the way around. Going down into our third section, which is going to be our agility skills, we're going to get our weapon mastery here. This is just going to help with a lot of extra damage coming in from bows and crossbows for this build. Then we're also going to go into Shadow Step. Shadow Step is going to be a nice little mobility thing, both in and out of big clumps. The important thing here is it's typically an 8.5 second cooldown. We take Discipline Shadow Step, so that way if we don't Shadow Step to something that we hit with Shadow Step in the last 4 seconds, it's actually going to be like a 5.5 second cooldown. So it's going to be pretty solid. Damaging an enemy with Shadow Step also increases that crit chance even more. Just gives us a chance to blow things up. Then we've got 1 rank in caltrips here as well. We're gonna go with the frost caltrips here. We're gonna get that chill up, try to get that freeze in there as well. That's gonna help with AoE CC, keep everything nice and clumped for us. As we go down into the subterfuge skills, I basically took exploit just for a little bit of extra damage on the top end and bottom end of things. The top end is to keep one-shotting those mobs as we do so well. The bottom end is primarily going to help with boss fights. Then down on the bottom end into our imbuements. Shadow Imbuement is absolutely massive for all of your AoE clear. That's going to be a nice little pop every time you kill something, and it's going to spread that damage around. So if you kill multiple things with one shot, that thing's going to do some work for you. Lastly, coming down here to our alt, we're going to rock the Supreme Shadow Clone. So, really hype beast stuff here. But we're going to drop that Shadow Clone. It lasts 15 seconds. This is going to be like a 25% uptime before CDR. It deals 80% of my damage, and it's going to mimic my skills. On top of that, as soon as I cast my Shadow Clone, all of my CC is gone for 5 seconds, and my Shadow Clone is going to do an extra 20% of the damage. So Shadow Clone is actually going to mimic, I believe that factors it in. It's 60% typically. It bumps it up to 80% with that. The skills are extremely important, but if we don't have the weapons to support it, and the gear, and the legendary properties, that's what's going to really make this build shine. The biggest thing that we need to keep in mind, whenever penetrating shot damages an enemy, 2 additional arrows split off to either side. These side arrows deal 59% of penetrating shots base damage and do not split. This is absolutely huge for our AoE clear. With our penetrating shot, we're basically stacking up our combo points to get extra damage on that. That's going to bring it from 493 damage to 937 with a 30% crit chance. On top of that, we also run attacking enemies with a basic skill increases the damage of your next core skill cast by up to 20%, up to 50%. So, 3 left clicks, and then we're going to right click. We're going to have all 3 of our combo points, and we're going to have that extra 50% from our bow coming in. Then, off of this, we've got when casting an imbuement skill, you trigger an imbued explosion. Nice little AoE clear. Dealing direct damage to enemies affected by your trap skills has almost a 50% chance to make them vulnerable. Vulnerability is massive. Some unstoppable while injured. This is going to be a really great one, especially for our squishier classes. Critical strikes with marksman skills have a chance, up to a 32% chance to grant a free Dark Shroud Shadow. So that's going to help with tanking up a little bit. If we crit a big pack, that can get us quite a few shadows. Basic skills gaining attack speed. This is just going to help us get those charges up faster, that 3-to-1 dump that we love so much. With our chest piece, basic skills giving us a 25% damage reduction for 5.5 seconds. That's great because we're always going to be using our basics. We're going to get that straight 25% damage reduction. This is actually one that I am a big fan of. Damaging an elite enemy grants you a barrier absorbing health for 10 seconds. I have 475 HP. This barrier is giving 567 HP, boys. That is really, really great, especially if you're playing a squishy class, or even if you're playing a barber or druid and you're up in front. Then over here, damaging an elite enemy with a basic skill generates 7 energy. That's going to be absolutely massive for these elite fights, just making sure that I can maintain my energy the entire way, keep dumping those pen shots. Last but not least, critical strikes with core skills, that's you, pen shot, increase your attack speed by 26% for 3 seconds. Combine that with the gloves and you are absolutely zipping once you get this build going. It is absolutely amazing. This build has one-shotted just about everything in the game that I've encountered so far, with the exception of bosses, and even bosses die in 5 or 6 pen shots for the most part if you're playing the combo properly. So, with that being everybody said, I hope you enjoyed watching that build guide as much as I loved making it. This build was quite possibly the most fun that I have ever had in a Diablo game, and it's only Act 1 in the beta. I cannot wait to see how this shapes up as the game, develops, as we get more content down the road, and as we get closer to release and in these later beta tests. If you guys have any questions about this build or any other builds that I'm running, that you're running, or that you see someone running, just hit me up, drop a comment below, message me on Discord. More than happy to answer any of those questions. And if you guys do want to stay tuned on more content, I'll have my boy CDOS throw up a couple videos for you here and here for your viewing pleasure. As always, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, checking out this video. I love y'all. Peace.